So Manchester United once again take the lead, convincing first half, really unconvincing second half, really sort of slapdash approach to the goal being conceded. I mean, how do you analyse United at the minute, Dave? Can you even begin to sort of look at them as top 4 contenders? Or are they writing off the season now and waiting for it to finish like Leicester are?
Players might be writing it off. They seem to be having a lot written in the media.
It's nuts.
It's a lot of leaks going on, isn't there?
It's not nice, man. It's not nice. And it's come out with Henderson again now as well, hasn't it? He's having to put out statements and things. It's ugly at the moment.
Well, you can say about United, they've tightened up at the back, albeit Harry Maguire's coming in for a lot of criticism still for the mistakes he's making, but they're not conceding as many. They're scoring slightly more than they were, I think, before Solskjaer got sacked, but that's not saying much either. But so many wasted chances. The amount of chances United are creating, what the hell is missing for them?
You could argue that all of our attacking players are out of form, apart from Jadon Sancho, who's playing the best football that we've seen him play for Man United so far. In terms of, obviously, Ronaldo is on a 6-game scoreless streak. Rashford looks as bad as ever. He's not looked right for a long while. Arguably, even he scored a couple of goals, obviously, when he came on off as a substitute in those couple of games, but albeit against tired legs. But it's just general play is not convinced me at all. No. And we talk about, obviously, the consistency in the play and being able to play at a high standard for 90 minutes. And I mean, we weren't even able to do that under Solskjaer. We weren't even able to do that for 45 minutes under Solskjaer towards the end. We looked, sorts. And under Rangnick, you can see the sort of principles that he's, brought in and the ways he's trying to play. I think some things have been encouraging. I just think a lot of players are flattering to deceive, and whether they are capable of being able to play in this style, begs the question if they're good enough for the club, full stop, really.
They just don't look like a team right now, though, do they? In so many areas. I think one of the things is, all right, they're creating these chances, but they're lacking that clinical edge. That's just not a mentality you'd expect from Man United, particularly with someone like Ronaldo up front. No. And everything that's going on behind the scenes, the amount of players that are speaking out against Rangnick while he's in post, and obviously there's been various issues. It just seems like there's been impact on the mentality of the players. I do wonder as well, just to kind of have some sympathy for the players that are featuring at the moment. I wonder what the impact of the Greenwood situation has had on them as individuals, because this is someone that they go to work with every day. And I imagine some of them are quite close with him. So someone like Rashford, who is dealing with the fact that Lingard is coming out complaining, Martial has been around for a long time coming out complaining. Then this with Greenwood, his manager's changing every 5 seconds. I understand why mentally he's probably not really understanding things that well. Whereas someone like Sancho, who hasn't been there as long, might be able to flourish in that kind of environment because it's a new setting for him. That's complete speculation, but you can understand why the mentality looks like it's suffering right now, because there's a lot going on at the club. They've just let Solskjaer go, who's a legend to the club, and I'm sure had his admirers even within the playing staff. Rangnick's asking them to do things that they've not had to do before, and they seemed unsettled by it, and arguing with some of the players in the process. And then the media are picking up on these other things as well, and they're really, really difficult things to deal with on an individual basis. It's a funny time for United, but again, another club that are stumbling into a decent position. If they win tonight, they go 4th, because other teams around them are also faltering. So they're still in the conversations somehow.
Which is incredible, really, isn't it? It kind of, every game that passes, it makes me wonder about the wisdom of having an interim manager, because it does feel like this is temporary. And even if and when Rangnick does step upstairs to a sort of more senior director sort of role, is he expecting this blueprint to carry on with the next coach? Is he looking for a coach to have that same approach? Or, I mean, it's very difficult to kind of gauge, isn't it?
Who, by the way, again, the talk is it's going to be Brendan Rodgers, who is leading Leicester to the worst season he's had with them at the moment. I think that would be a very, very odd appointment.
No, I don't think so. I'm sure they've got somebody in mind. I mean, I'm being optimistic here. This is the United board after all, but I'd like to think they've already got somebody they're talking to behind the scenes that will fit the mould that Rangnick's kind of started doing. Wishful thinking, I know, but I imagine Dave disagrees with that.
Who knows? Who knows with this club? You'd hope. I mean, the fans, from what I've looked at, aren't keen on Pochettino.
No.
And it seems a lot of fans are calling for Ten Hag, and I mean, part of me kind of agrees with that that opinion, just because of the potential upside of that decision. And we've seen the potential of, you know, as a manager, we've seen that he can do it in Europe. And I mean, what are we potentially losing out on if we don't take Pochettino in and we gamble on Ten Hag? Because we need to. I feel like it's just too good an opportunity to turn down. That's if he wants to go to Man United.
Yeah.
I just don't see what we can lose out if it doesn't work out. We take Ten Hag, it doesn't work out. We're in a mess as it is anyway. So we're not. At the end of the day, I feel like it's a free hit.
Yeah.
Well,
potentially.
Southampton are hitting some pretty good form, and Rangnick obviously has a friend there.
I thought that. Yeah, they had a bit of a chat beforehand, and he's a mentor to a lot of managers, but I think Hasenhüttl's one of the ones that's really looked up to Rangnick and his approach, isn't he? And he said in the comments after the game what United weren't doing to fit the system, which I thought was scathing, you know, coming from Hasenhüttl, who was smashed 9-0 in the same fixture last season. So yeah, it's a weird one when that comes out of someone like him. But yeah, he's a good coach. But I mean, for me, I can honestly see Rangnick taking the role himself on a semi-permanent basis come the summer. I really can, because I mean, it feels like he's making all these changes to the system, and the only way for that to continue is for him to stay at the helm.
He should not do that. I don't think he's good enough.